Have you ever felt it? That quiet, persistent whisper deep in the chambers of your soul. The feeling that you were meant for more. Not just more money or more success, but more life, more adventure, more meaning. It is the oldest and most sacred human instinct. The call of the hero, echoing down to the corridors of time, waiting for you to answer. You were not born to live an average life. You were not born to be a footnote in the story of the world. You were born with a myth inside you, a unique, powerful, and unrepeatable story of a hero waiting to be lived. But here is the brutal truth. A myth that is not lived becomes a tragedy. A potential that is not realized becomes a poison. Your life, right now, is a myth. The question is, will you have the courage to make a legend? A myth is a story that is told. A legend is a story that is lived. A myth is a possibility. A legend is a reality, forged in the fires of action, courage, and unwavering belief. The world is full of forgotten myths, of heroes who heard the call to adventure and chose the comfort of the familiar, of kings and queens who abdicated their thrones to live as peasants in the quiet kingdom of their own fear. They refused the call, and in doing so, they chose to become a ghost in their own story. This is the great divide, the single choice that separates a life of quiet desperation from a life of legendary achievement. And that choice begins with the creation of a vision. Your vision is the first and most powerful act of the hero. It is the act of standing in the chaos of the ordinary world and daring to imagine an extraordinary one. It is the act of looking at the blank, unwritten pages of your future and beginning to write the epic you were born to live. This is not a passive dream. It is an act of creation. It is a declaration of war against the tyranny of what is in favor of the magnificent obsession of what could be. Look at the great legends of our time. Walt Disney was not a cartoonist. He was the architect of a world of pure imagination. He saw his magic kingdom with such vivid, crystalline clarity in his mind that the bankruptcies, the rejections, the betrayals were nothing but dragons on the path to a destiny he had already decided upon. The world saw a failed businessman drawing cartoons in a garage. He saw a global empire of joy and wonder. His vision was not a map of his reality. It was the force that created a new one. This is the nature of a true vision. It is a memory of the future. It is a reality that exists in the spiritual realm, waiting for a hero with the courage to go on a quest and bring it back into the material world. But a vision without a definite purpose is a powerless phantom. You must know with absolute certainty what your quest is. What is the treasure you seek? What is the dragon you must slay? What is the kingdom you are trying to build? A vague desire for better life is the prayer of a victim. A definite major purpose is the vow of a hero. It is this purpose that becomes your compass in the dark forest of the unknown. It is this purpose that gives you the strength to cross the threshold, to leave the safety of your village and step into the wilderness where legends are born. It is this purpose that fuels your discipline when the fires of motivation burn low. And you must have a burning, all-consuming belief in your quest. Not a hope, not a wish, but a profound, unshakable, and almost irrational faith in your own myth. You must believe in your vision more than you believe in the evidence of your current reality. You must believe in your own power more than you believe in the opinions of the crowd. This belief is your shield. It is the armor that protects your vision from the poison arrows of doubt, both from the world and from a traitor within your own mind. When they tell you it's impossible, your belief says, "Watch me." When they laugh at your ambition, your belief says, "The hero is always a fool before they are a legend." When you fall, as you inevitably will, your belief is a hand that reaches down and pulls you back to your feet, whispering the single, life-giving word that has fueled every great human achievement. Again, it is the single word that separates the myth from the legend, and it is the word that must be made manifest, not in the heart, but in the world. A belief that is not backed by action is a prayer whispered into a void. A vision that is not pursued with relentless effort is a hallucination. The hero is not defined by what they believe. They are defined by what they do. This is the moment of truth, the crossing of the threshold. It is the moment you stop planning, you stop dreaming, you stop talking, and you take the first terrifying, irreversible step into the unknown. You leave the familiar village of your comfort zone, with its warm fires and its predictable routines, and you step into the dark, enchanted forest where the dragons and the treasures lie. Most people stand at the edge of this forest their entire lives, paralyzed by the fear of what lies within. Their myths die right there at the border between intention and action. But the legend steps across, and it is here in the wilderness that the true journey begins. This is the road of trials. It is not a single, glorious battle. It is a long, arduous, and often lonely march. And the only fuel that will sustain you on this march is the hard, unglamorous, and non-negotiable power of discipline. Discipline is the hero's daily ritual. It is the training montage of your life. It is the act of slaying the small dragons of procrastination and distraction day after day. It is a choice to do the hard work, the necessary work, especially when you do not feel like it. It is the promise you make to your vision, renewed every single morning with the currency of your effort. The legend is not born in a moment of inspiration. The legend is forged in the furnace of 1,000 uninspired moments, 1,000 mornings of choosing the difficult path, 1,000 nights of staying true to the quest when the rest of the world has gone to sleep. It is in this relentless repetition, in this unwavering commitment to the journey, that the hero builds their strength. The muscles of your character are not developed in a single leap, but in the thousands of small, consistent reps of your daily discipline. And this strength will be needed, because on the road of trials, every hero, without exception, will eventually face their ultimate test. They will face the dragon. They will enter the belly of the whale. This is a moment of total darkness, the point of absolute crisis, the trial that seems designed to break you completely. It is the moment your business collapses, your greatest work is rejected, your heart is broken. It is the moment the myth is brought to its knees and faces its own annihilation. Consider the myth of a man who would one day be called a giant of history, Abraham Lincoln. Before he became a legend, his life was a relentless testament to failure. His first business failed, leaving him in debt for years. He ran for political office and was brutally defeated again and again. The woman he loved died tragically. He suffered from a depression so profound it was called melancholy, a darkness that followed him his entire life. He was a man acquainted with the deepest valleys of despair. This was his belly of the whale. The world saw a failure, a broken man destined for a life of obscurity. But in that darkness, in that crucible of suffering, something was being forged. His failures taught him humility. His defeats taught him resilience. His personal grief carved within him capacity for empathy, so profound it would one day heal a wounded nation. He was not being broken by his trials. He was being built by them. He understood a secret known to all heroes. The treasure you seek is almost always hidden in the cave you are most afraid to enter. This is the nature of your greatest challenge. The dragon you must face is not an external enemy. It is the embodiment of your own deepest fear. Your fear of failure, your fear of judgment, your fear of not being enough. And the only way to defeat the dragon is to face it, to walk into the darkness, armed with nothing but your belief and your discipline, and confront the very thing that has held you captive. It is in this confrontation that the hero finds their true power. The power not just to survive the darkness, but to find the treasure hidden within it. The gold of wisdom, the diamond of resilience, the unshakable truth of who you really are. And it is there, in the ashes of that confrontation, in the silence after the dragon's roar, that the hero is reborn. You enter the cave as a seeker, but you emerge as a master. You carry with you the ultimate treasure, not gold, not jewels, but the unshakable knowledge of your own resilience. The hard-won wisdom that you are more powerful than your deepest fear. You have faced the abyss, and you have not been broken. You have been made whole. This is a return journey. You come back to the ordinary world you once left behind, but it is no longer ordinary because you are no longer the same. You see with new eyes. The trivial annoyances that once plagued you are now insignificant. The obstacles that once seemed like mountains are now mere pebbles on your path. You carry the quiet, confident strength of a person who has walked through fire and emerged not burned but purified. This is the mastery of two worlds. The mastery of your inner world of belief and vision, and the mastery of the outer world of action and results. You are no longer a victim of the world, tossed about by its storms, nor are you a detached hermit, hiding from it in a mountain cave of pure thought. You are a legend, A conscious creator who walks with grace and power in both realms. You can dream with the gods and build with the titans. And you bring back a gift. The true hero does not hoard their treasure. They share it. Their gift is their story. Their gift is their strength. Their gift is a light they now carry, a light that illuminates a path for others who are still lost in the dark forest. Your ultimate purpose is not just to complete your own journey, but to become an inspiration for others to begin theirs. This is how a legend becomes eternal. This is how your story becomes a myth for the next generation. And so, we arrive at the end of this story and the beginning of yours. All the myths, all the legends, all the stories of the heroes who have ever lived are not just tales of the past. They are a mirror. They are a roadmap. They are a promise of the person you are capable of becoming. The dragons are real. The treasures are real. And the journey is waiting. The call to adventure is whispering to you right now. It is the dissatisfaction in your heart. It is the dream that will not let you sleep. It is the quiet voice that tells you that this ordinary life is not the one you were meant to live. What is your dark cave? What is the fear you have been avoiding your entire life? What is the treasure that is waiting for you on the other side of that fear? The path is not easy. It will demand all of your courage, all of your discipline, all of your faith. It will break you down and rebuild you into someone you can barely recognize. It will be the hardest thing you have ever done, and it will be the only thing that truly matters. You have a story inside you, a story of triumph, of resilience, of greatness. The world is desperate to hear it, but it cannot be told. It can only be lived. Your life is a myth. Now go and make it a legend.